So yeah, a lot is going on here in the market. Some very interesting bits and pieces are underway here. So today's session has done really nothing wrong. Talking about the S&P, this happens to be the S&P right here. Yesterday, we had indicated that any hourly or daily close above 46.92 would advance to 47.10 to 47.12 into 11.16. And actually the day before is when we said that, but yesterday they did get above 46.92, and by the time they closed the hour above 46.92, they were already up at 47.02. So our forecast for them to be up at 47.10 to 12, it did happen. They got up to 47.0975. That is great, but it didn't leave a lot on the table for us. But we still did know that the market was going to rush up to attempt the new highs, and they weren't quite able to make even the original high of 47.1175. So that's interesting to me. It is a early sign. It's a sign. It's an early sign that it might be, the market may be weaker, and that kind of goes with a bias that I have right now because of the weekly top and all this other stuff that we've been forecasting, particularly for those of you that have been following what we're forecasting and where the market's going to be next week and so on. So I will tell you something that might be interesting for you. This right here, all this just constitutes in the center chart here today's action. We had a pretty sharp decline. We got down to 79, and then we started to rally, and then we sold off. But as long as the market is closing hourly above 46.81, it's actually still in an okay position. And believe it or not, it normally, I don't mind telling you this, maybe this would be helpful to you, it normally means the market's going to move up into the late session and be testing 47.02. So that's great. We may be doing something with that indication, but I'm not super biased myself to the long side right now. I do appreciate that they've not done anything wrong, and that's helpful. But I do want to say, if between today and the end of today, the S&P is closing hourly below 81, that's a pretty definitive sign that there's trouble ahead. But trouble is only because it's going down, but we can trade for gains on the downside, of course, by being short and so on. So we'll see. Raj is here and he says, David, yesterday the market was off just 2 points from the all-time high. Can we conclude it as weakness given just this information alone? Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I consider it weakness just on that information alone. So if the market gets into a position, which it's something I call a make or break, if it's above 92, it'll run up and complete, just very much like the center chart shows. If it gets above 92, it's going to run to the old high. And it's going to do that not because there's something special only about 92, but because there's a set of conditions in which 92 under these conditions would, by getting above it, would indicate the advance to touch or exceed 47.1175. The fact that we did get above 92, put that into play. We did in fact get up to 47.0975. That's 2 points off of it. That is not good. That's not good behavior. So absolutely, I'm treating what we saw yesterday as a definitive sign of, at the very least, potential weakness. I mean, I would say it's definitive weakness, but I would say it's, maybe a more conservative way to say it. It's definitely click the switch over where you can say that's potentially weakness. I mean, I really mean it. So that's really important. And what that does for me, when I see that, is I don't forget it. I remember that. And later, if I end up getting a signal of some kind
that, let's just say that this was a short signal, then I tend to want to take that short signal more seriously because I remember up here that they missed a number. So I'm keeping that in mind. And take note that we haven't closed above 92 today. All of these hourly closes here, 88.75, 82.50, 89, and we're not going to close above 92 this hour. They're not doing well. They're not able to close above 92. And this is in a time period where they should be able to if the market was not under pressure. So this is part of the whole detective story thing where you're putting a set of conditions together. You may not have everything done, but you're starting to get the hints, just like we said, the miss of this number up here is important. And I do take simply from that the premise that the market is in a weaker position.